What is going on here?
The cutest, most wholesome.
Scare me. I'm gonna continue to avoid that. I'm stressed. Hello my sweet bestie angels, welcome back. Recently I uploaded my September TBR video, and of course I used my TBR jar to pick prompts for me, and it just so happened that a lot of the prompts that I got led me to choose books that I've kind of put off, and I kept kind of saying in the video, oh, like I've been avoiding this, but maybe this is my chance to pick it up. And someone commented, sounds like it's time for another books I've been avoiding reading vlog. And you know what? That inspired me. I thought, hey, this actually is the perfect chance to film another one of these reading vlogs. So here we are. If you don't know, I filmed a couple of these before. I'll link them down below if you want to check them out. But whenever we get to the tail end of the year, I feel like I always end up looking at my TBR cart and thinking, wow, I really thought I was gonna read that book by now, but for some reason or other, I have put it off. So we're gonna work on that this week. I have gone through my TBR cart and pulled off all of the books that I think I have been avoiding, and how I've decided if these books fit into the avoidance category is kind of in two different ways. So the first reason why a book may have been added to this pile is that it has been on my TBR cart since last year. So it's been there for at least, I guess, 8 months. If it has been on since 2024 or earlier, it has made it to this pile. And the second reason that a book may have been added to this list is that it is a part of my 2025 TBR, and I obviously haven't read it yet. So overall, these are kind of the books that have been either on my physical TBR or at least my mental TBR for quite a while. So let me run you through our options. Firstly, we have Persuasion by Jane Austen. This fits in both categories. This is on my 25 books I want to read in 2025, and it's been on my physical TBR since last year. We have The Well of Ascension by Brandon Sanderson, the second book in the Mistborn trilogy. I'm not gonna lie to you guys, I still want to avoid this because Next we have If We Were Villains. This is also on my annual TBR, along with The Ministry of Time. This might be a contender for today's video. Then we have Remarkably Bright Creatures, another one from my annual TBR. Then we have Threads That Bind. I feel like this might have been one of the longest standing books on my TBR, on my physical TBR. I don't know how long I've owned this, like a long time. I really need to get to that one. I honestly forgot I had it. Then another one that has been on my TBR for way too long is Such Charming Liars, A Voice in the Wind by Francine Rivers. This has definitely been on my TBR since last year, but it's also on my 2025 TBR. To be fair, I had this like whole box set, it's a trilogy, lent out for quite a while. Like I want to say maybe even like 4 to 6 months of this year. So I haven't even like had it in my possession all year, but I definitely need to get to it. I'm excited to read this as well. I love Francine Rivers books, and so many people rave about this trilogy, this series. So I do really want to get to this soon, but like take a shot every time I say I want to get to something soon, and then I leave it on my TBR for like 6 months. And then lastly, the last one in this pile is The Order of Masks. So those are all our options. I'm not sure how many we're going to get to in this video, honestly just as many as possible. And I'm not sure exactly which ones we're going to get to. However, I know what we're going to start with, and that is The Ministry of Time. I'm just in my bathroom getting ready for the day, but you're never fully ready without deodorant. No one wants to smell bad, obviously, including myself. But this is my Wild deodorant. I've been using Wild for months now. I started using it based on a friend's recommendation, and I haven't looked back since. It is an aluminium-free deodorant, natural ingredients. I used to be scared that using a natural deodorant wouldn't actually like do the job, but it definitely does. And Wild recently came out with a new product, which is this one, which is their roll-on deodorant. It just looks like a normal roll-on deodorant. If you didn't know, they also just have normal like stick deodorants, which is what I was using previously. It just looks like this. Still love this as well, but I've been using the roll-on ever since I got it, and I'm just loving it. Of course, still comes with the cutest cases ever. I have the matching bee ones, but if you prefer something different, I also have these designs. So cute. But like I said, I've been using their new roll-on. I need to obviously put it on for today, and I love this because there is absolutely no white cast at all. It doesn't leave you feeling sticky, and obviously it's wet when you put it on, but it doesn't leave you feeling wet. Like it dries very quickly. So I find this just super comfortable, and it might just be my new go-to. I still love my stick deodorant as well, so I don't know, but I've been really enjoying the roll-on. But I'll quickly show you how it works with this one. This is the Fresh Cotton and Sea Salt scent. Very like clean and fresh smelling. I also love this one. But all you have to do is pop open the case, give the scent a bit of a shake, unscrew the lid, get the top part of your roll-on deodorant and screw that on, and then just pop it back into your case. And that way when you unscrew it, your roll-on deodorant is ready to use. So if you want to try Wild for yourself, whether it be their deodorant, their body wash, their lip balm, I'll have the website linked down below, and you can also use the code RachelC to save 20% off. A huge thank you to Wild for partnering with me on this video, but I'll let you guys get back to the reading vlog. I actually started this last night before I went to bed. I got about 40 pages in, I think. So not too far, but I feel like I have a general understanding about what's going on. But as for my first impressions, I really like it and I'm shocked. Obviously, as I'm sure you can guess, there's usually a reason why you're avoiding reading something. Sometimes it's because you think it's going to be so good and you don't want to actually read it and then be let down if it's not as good as you think it's going to be. Sometimes you don't actually think you're going to enjoy it, so you put it off. There's honestly a million reasons why you could be avoiding reading a book, but this is one of those books where I'd heard like such mixed reviews. Like some people it's like a 6-star read, a 5-star read, like one of their favorite books of all time. It's won a bunch of awards. It's very like highly acclaimed. I think this was like the Dimmicks Book of the Year last year, so they have like an exclusive edition of it. Like the response to this book was overall very positive, but then just in like the book community of the people that I watch and the people that I interact with, my mutuals, just the people that I like watching their reviews, I feel like it was such a mixed bag. Some of them loved it, but some of them really didn't. I feel like I went in very tentatively. Like in my head, I thought there was a very good chance that I wouldn't really like this and it was going to be a bit of a slog. I just did not go in with high hopes, but it just had so many good reviews and the premise was so intriguing to me that I was like, I just wanted to try. And then last night I picked it up and I started reading it and I literally got 14 pages in and I had the thought to myself, I really like this, like really like this. And I specifically looked at the page number because I was like, I feel like I've been reading for like 15 minutes. Why am I feeling like this? And I remember looking at the page number, I was like, I'm only 14 pages in, like what is going on here? But the writing is just so good and the premise is fascinating and the way it is all unfolding, I'm just so intrigued. Like I can't stop thinking about it. Like I said, I read it last night and then this morning I went on a walk and listened to a bit of it as an audiobook on Spotify just while I was walking because I could not stop thinking about it. I needed to know more of the story and like what was going to happen. And then I've just spent the whole morning just like on my computer doing boring computer things. And again, the whole time I've been sitting on my computer, I've just been thinking about this book and I just want to know what is going to happen. So I guess you could say I'm locked in. Like I wouldn't be surprised if I end up binging this because I just can't get my mind off it. But let me tell you what it's actually about. So we are following our main character who's working for the Ministry of Time as a bridge, and there are a group of bridges and they are a part of this new experimental project where they are working alongside expats, which are people that they have taken from the past using time travel because this is a sci-fi book and it's set in the future and obviously they've worked out how to use time travel. And so they have taken a group of people from the past from various different times and various different places and they have brought them into the current time period and they are trying to work out if it is possible for those people to, I guess, acclimatize to the current time period and to live successfully in the present. And they are doing that alongside the help of these bridges. So there is one expat assigned to one bridge and they are living together in a house, like as housemates, I guess, for 1 year. And it is the bridge's role to teach them everything that they need to know to survive and thrive in the present. So it's not even just like learning how to use physical things or like technology. It's even just about different mindsets, which is just so interesting. I did not think I would be intrigued by that, but it is fascinating and it is making me think about so many things. It kind of reminds me of that meme from a long time ago where it's like, imagine explaining blank to a Victorian child, because that is like kind of what this book is. Like that is what our main character is basically having to do. Like she's explaining how toilets work, she's explaining germs, she's explaining bikes, she's explaining MRIs, racism, World War I and II. Like there are so many things that she has to kind of explain without overwhelming her expat. He is from 1847. Anyway, I don't know if that sounds interesting because every time I've heard someone explain this book, I've been like, oh yeah, like it sounds interesting, but not to the point where I'm like, oh my gosh, I need to pick up this book right now. But now that I'm reading it, I'm like, oh my gosh, more people need to read this book. So like I said, I've been editing all morning, but I'm gonna take some time out of my day now to do some more reading because I just want to know more. I want to understand more of not only our characters, like our main characters, but I want to understand like where this story is going because there's not really a super prominent plot right now apart from our bridge and expat trying to like survive and like acclimatize. But I just feel like there's going to be a lot more to it and I feel like there's going to be some like moral moral dilemmas sort of situation. I feel like there already is some moral dilemmas going on, but I feel like that's going to become more prominent if I had to guess. And I'm assuming something's going to happen with the Ministry of Time. And also, I think there's going to be some romance, because it does say somewhere, I think it was on Goodreads that I saw it actually. Yeah, this is how it's described on Goodreads, which I actually think is a great description. A time travel romance, a spy thriller, a workplace comedy, and an Indigenous exploration of the nature of power and the potential for love to change it all. Welcome to the Ministry of Time. Like, it is just so many things in one. Anyway, as you can tell, I'm excited. That's why I can't stop talking about it, but I'm gonna keep reading and I'll update you guys later. Put this book down. It's only been a few hours since I last talked to you, and I am now at page 204. I haven't done anything since I talked to you last apart from read, because I don't want to stop reading. I feel like I'm attached to Graham. I don't even know why. I just feel like he is so precious. And I don't even want to sound like condescending, because I feel like saying that he seems precious sounds condescending, but that's not the way I mean it. He's so curious. He's like making friends. Why is it so cute when someone from 1847 is making friends? Like, why is that so sweet? But like, seeing the expats become friends and seeing the relationships that they have built with each other and with their bridges. But equally, like, there's a lot of negatives happening and a lot of darkness kind of looming over the story, and I'm not exactly sure where it's gonna go. I've just had something like pretty traumatic happen in the story, which is, yeah, difficult obviously to read about and to like see our characters experience. But I'm just like, what does this mean for the story? What does this mean for our characters? What does this mean for the ministry? Because I'm so confused how I should feel towards certain things in the story without obviously spoiling anything. But I just like need to know. Like, I need to know what is happening behind the scenes, because it just feels like we keep getting these like little snippets of things that are happening kind of like undercover or like behind the scenes, behind closed doors, and we don't know as the reader what's really going on. Obviously, like, I'm picking up pieces here. It's like a puzzle that we keep getting pieces of, but I don't know, like, what does this mean? What does this mean for the future of our characters? I also just love the relationship, like the friendship that is being built between Graham and our main character. Like, they're so different and they obviously come from such different worlds, but you can just tell that they care about each other a lot, and I love that. It's just been like such a slow burn of friendship, if that's even like a thing. Not that they like hated each other in the beginning, but it never seemed like they would align, I guess, but now it just feels like they've grown so much. I don't know, I'm very like conflicted, because part of the story I'm like, oh, it's so sweet, it's so wholesome, I'm laughing at certain things, I feel like warm and fuzzy over certain things, and then there's this other part of the story that just feels quite like dark and ominous and immoral, I guess, and I don't know, I'm so intrigued. I kind of just want to binge the rest of it today. I don't know if that's like the best thing I could do with my time, but equally I'm like, I need to know how this story is going to end. I think this is about 350 pages, so I'm a little over halfway, but I'm loving it. It's so much better than I thought it was going to be. I'm now up to page 260. I'm starting to get nervous because I feel like, I don't know, the narrator, or like the main character, has said some things that worry me about the ending. I'm scared. I just read this quote and I feel like it really, not like sums up this book, but it really encompasses a lot of what this book is about, so I thought I would read it to you. It's not a spoiler, but it says, "The time travel project was the first time in history that any person had been brought out of their time and into their far future. In this sense, the predicament of the expats was unique, but the rhythms of loss and asylum, exodus and loneliness roll like floods across human history." That is quite profound, at least I think. I have 50 pages left and things are not looking good. I'm stressed. I wasn't recording, but What? Why did I feel like an idiot for not realizing this. I did not even guess that for a second. have a theory. I thought I had like 15 pages left. I have like 3. What? How is this going to end? Whoa. My camera ended up dying right as I was finishing the book, but obviously I finished The Ministry of Time last night. Imagine putting off a book for so long and then you end up loving it. Imagine. Couldn't be me. Couldn't be me. Obviously that's exactly what happened. I loved this book. It was so good. So much better than I was expecting. I don't even know what to say about it. There is just so much going on in this book. The premise is fascinating. The whole Ministry of Time, time traveling, the bridge, all of those elements were really fascinating to me. And then even after we kind of moved on from that like settling kind of period, like just like settling into the current time period, and the story kind of progressed past that, I still found it just so interesting seeing what our characters were getting up to and the relationships and friendships that they were building with other characters while still kind of keeping secrets, not knowing who you could trust, not really knowing what was happening behind the scenes at the Ministry of Time, and that slowly being revealed, and then finding out, in my opinion, a really crazy, like, I don't know if plot twist is the right word, but like having a reveal that I was not expecting. And then the ending, like, I don't even know how I feel about the ending, to be honest. Like, it was good, but it wasn't what I was expecting. I feel like it was just a whirlwind in the best way possible. I think I'm gonna give it 4.5 stars, which, yeah, I was not expecting that. It was almost a 5-star read, but it just like wasn't quite there. There were just a few, like, I don't know, hesitations that I had regarding some of the elements or like some of the things in the book. But overall, I just like fell in love with a lot of our characters over the course of this book. They are very flawed. No one in this book is perfect. So I'm not saying I agree with all of the decisions that are being made. If I really love a book, after I finish it, all I want to do is like go on TikTok, go on Goodreads, go on YouTube and look up reading vlogs of other people reading the same book to see their reactions, to see their thoughts, to see their reviews. Like, that's how you know I love a book, is when I just immediately need to like hear other people's thoughts on it so that I feel like I can like talk to people about it. And when I went on Goodreads, my jaw literally dropped because I saw so many people being like, oh, I couldn't get through it, I was just so bored. And I was shocked because I truly could not put this book down. But it obviously just goes to show that everyone has a totally different reading experience and everyone's just going to have different thoughts on the same book. Obviously, like, that is just how books work. However, a lot of those reviews that had criticisms, I could totally see the validity in those critiques. One of which I do agree with was that someone said, I think this book was trying to do a little bit too much and thus ended up not doing all of those things as well as maybe they could have been done if there had been less to focus on. And again, I agree with that. This book is very genre bending. There are so many different discussions going on, and also just like so many things that are like kind of hinted at but they're not actually discussed. And I don't think there's anything wrong with that, but if that is supposed to be a main point of the book, I think maybe there should be some more time like spent on that. I don't know, it's hard because I think sometimes authors are just trying to lead you to think about certain things and then come to your own conclusions rather than just like tell you how to feel about something. Anyway, I am going to stop talking about this book, but it was absolutely phenomenal. I really, really liked it. We're done with this. I can't believe I read it in 24 hours. I was also not expecting that at all, but like I said, I could not put the book down and I needed to know what was going to happen. But yeah, I literally started it 2 nights ago, finished it last night. So 24 hours, what? Like, I don't remember the last book I read in 24 hours, honestly. But now we need to pick our next book. I have no idea what I want to read next. I think I'm going to get to a couple more in this video. I just don't know exactly how many. But I'm like, what do I want to read right now? I know what I don't want to read right now, and that is The Well of Ascension. See ya. I'm going to continue to avoid that. But everything else, if we were villains, I don't think this is the time. We've just entered spring. And I mean, after this we're going into summer, so I don't know when I think I'm going to pick this up. But I don't feel the vibes right now. I don't want to read Dark Academia right now. Everything else, however, sounds kind of good. I think maybe one of these two. I have Threads That Bind and Such Charming Liars. Both of these are YA books. This is a YA thriller. I think this is YA fantasy. I feel like I haven't read a YA thriller in so long, and I honestly love YA thrillers. I love the Truly Devious series, The Naturals. I've read a bunch from this author before and really enjoyed it, but I haven't read it in a long time, so I'm like, I wonder if I'll still like it. Maybe I'll give this one a go and just like see how we feel. I'm not against DNFing any of the books in this pile. Like, if I start reading reading it and I'm not vibing with it, I'll either softy an effort and put it back on the TBR cart, or if I'm really like, I just don't think this is for me, I'm happy to DNF it. Like, that's not against the rules in my opinion. Like, the point is just to give these books a chance, you know? Not that I think I'm gonna DNF it, but I'm just saying. I feel like some of these books I've just avoided for so long that I'm like, there is a chance that I might not like them. Like, there is sometimes a reason I've avoided something, but then on the other hand, sometimes I avoid a book and end up giving it 4.5 stars. So you never know what you're gonna get, but I think this might be the next book that I start. Reading update, I'm up to page 146. So I thought I would give you my initial thoughts. Honestly, it's pretty fun so far. I feel like it's been a good setup. I definitely said this was a thriller, but it may be just a mystery, so don't quote me on that. It's definitely feeling more on the mystery side so far. However, something big did just happen that could mean it kind of goes more down that thriller direction, but we'll see. Basically, the storyline is we are following Kat and Liam, who are both teenagers, and a long time ago when they were like 4 and 5 years old, I think, Kat's mum and Liam's dad were married for 48 hours in Vegas, and then they divorced and they haven't seen each other since. So Kat and Liam were step siblings for 48 hours when they were little kids, and now it is obviously many years later, and it just so happens that Kat and Liam have turned up to this event, I guess, or this place at the same time, and they've recognized each other, but they're at this like location and this event for very different reasons. Kat is basically working at the event, kind of as like a server, a waitress, but actually she's kind of undercover as a jewelry thief, or at least her mum is. And then Liam is attending as a guest, kind of like a friend of the family kind of thing. So it's a really interesting setup. We have a lot of like rich people, family dynamics, family drama, and then we also have this like jewelry thief mission thing going on as well. And we've also just had something happen, like I mentioned, that may make it go down that thriller direction a little bit more. I don't know if I can say what it is. Okay, actually, it says it on the back. Someone has been shot. So I'm definitely interested. I'm excited to keep reading. I honestly just haven't had much time to read over the past couple of days. Otherwise, I think I'd be further through because I am excited to pick it up. I don't think it's going to be like a 5-star read, but it is just like a fun time so far. So I'll let you guys know when I have some more thoughts on this. Liam and I are heading to the coast tomorrow, so we're going to be at the beach for a few days. I'm like halfway through packing right now, hence all the stuff on my bed, but I need to make sure I bring a couple books with me. I'm not sure exactly which ones I'm going to bring yet. Obviously I haven't packed them yet, but I'll keep you guys updated. Up to the coast yesterday morning and I did a bunch of reading throughout the day. I read some of this at the beach, I read some of it just like chilling at home, and then I finished it right before bed. So I thought I'd give you my final thoughts on this one. I had a lot of fun with this. I feel like it is just kind of a classic YA mystery slash thriller. It didn't feel super thrilling to me. I guess like there were moments where it's a bit more like high stakes, a bit more are we gonna survive, I guess, but it wasn't like super thrillery, if that makes sense, but like in a good way. You have to remember that this is YA, so YA thrillers usually aren't as crazy or as like scary, and when it comes to thrillers, I don't like anything that's actually gonna like scare me or like freak me out or make me scared to be home alone or something like that. So I like something that's not too intense, and so I think that's why I like YA thrillers a little bit more than adult thrillers, because they're good for those of you who don't like to be scared and don't like to be stressed out. So there were definitely moments in this where it was more high stakes and more like, oh my gosh, what is going to happen here? Like, are the characters going to survive in some certain things? But it definitely wasn't too scary or anything like that. I think what I liked most about this book was the element of having step siblings that haven't seen each other in like a long time, but still kind of felt like family or like treated each other like family. I thought that was such an interesting dynamic and not really something I'd seen before, and I really liked that. And I also just really enjoyed the setting because it is mostly set, I want to say in Maine. It's definitely like somewhere on the East Coast, but I think it's in Maine, and it's also set in this like compound which this really rich guy owns, and all of his family lives there, and I feel like it was quite atmospheric in that way, like rich people drama, family dynamics, stuff like that. So I really liked that aspect of it. I think overall I'm gonna give it like 3.5 stars, but I had fun with this. I would recommend it. I think if you just want something like fast paced, it's a great little beach read if you like reading thrillers on vacation. Super quick to get through, likable characters, interesting storyline. Like I truly had so much fun with this, and while I was reading it, I was so locked in. Like I was not bored at all during this book, so I really liked it, and I'm very glad to finally have this off my TBR. But now we have to pick out our next read. I brought 2 books with me, and so these are my 2 options. They're both obviously from the pile of avoidance. We have Remarkably Bright Creatures and The Order of Masks. One of them is like a fantasy and one of them is more of a general fiction, but I think I want to read this. Is it purely because it has an octopus on the front and I'm at the beach right now? Maybe. I don't know, I just don't feel like reading fantasy right now, but I feel like this could be a vibe. Even though it has an octopus on the front, I'm pretty sure it's set at an aquarium, not the beach or like not the ocean. And to be honest, I don't really understand what this book is about. I know that there is a talking octopus and it's like general fiction, so I think it's gonna be heartwarming. And it looks like there's gonna be a mystery element as well. I put it off for a long time because of like the talking octopus situation. That kind of like put me off because I was just kind of confused. But a lot of people were like, you just need to start reading it and then it will all make sense. So I was like, okay, I'm just gonna start reading it, gonna give it a chance. As I've said like so many times in this video, I just need to give things a chance, and I hope I really enjoy this. I'm not sure, I feel like I've seen mixed reviews. Some people love it, some people don't care much for it, but I'm excited. Little reading update. It's now the next day. Yesterday I got up to page 90. To be honest, I don't really have a lot to say yet. I feel like I'm still really getting kind of like the setup and like just laying the foundation. We're following quite a few characters. Mostly we seem to be following Tova, who is an older lady who works at the aquarium as a cleaner. We also get the POV of the octopus, whose name is Marcellus, I think. And those chapters are like fascinating to me. I just think reading from an octopus's POV is just such an interesting concept, and I really enjoy that. But we've also met a few other characters and we seem to be getting little snippets from their point of views as well, so I don't really know where this is going to go or what's going to happen. I do know that our main character Tova, her son went missing a long time ago, and I have a feeling there's going to be more to that story, but right now I don't know. We're about to head to the beach again though, so I'm going to bring my book with me and hopefully get some more reading done. I don't know how I feel about it yet. I'm not enthralled, but I'm having a good time. As you can tell, I'm back at home, back in my library. We had such a nice few days at the coast, but we drove back today, and of course, I have a reading update for you guys. I think it's been maybe 2 days since I updated you last, but honestly, I just haven't really had anything to say. I've obviously continued to read. I'm now at page 290, so I think I have like 70 pages left. I think it's roughly 360-ish pages, and I'm enjoying this book. I think it's good, but I'm definitely not obsessed. I feel like the best kind of books are the ones where you feel like you read for like 15 minutes, but it's actually been an hour. Or you look down at the page numbers and you're like, oh my gosh, I've already read that many pages. I feel like I've only read like 5, but I've actually read like 30. Like time flies by, page numbers fly by, the book flies by because you're just having such a good time and you just don't want to put it down. And unfortunately, that's just not the experience I'm having with this book. I just kind of feel myself noticing every single page and like noticing the minutes go by and just thinking, oh, have I only been reading for like 20 minutes? I feel like I've been reading for so much longer than that. Like it's just moving very slowly. And again, I'm enjoying it. I like our characters. I think the story is interesting to an extent, but I think I just thought I would be more invested than what I am. I will say, I love Marcellus. I think that's how you say his name. I keep just wanting to say Marcel, and I don't know why. Anyway, I love his chapters so much. We only get like very short chapters from the octopus Marcellus's point of view, and I wish his chapters were longer because I love his chapters. He is just so wholesome, and it's just fascinating reading from an octopus point of view. Who would have thought those words would ever come out of my mouth? Not me. But like, I love his chapters, and I also just really love the chapters that are set in the aquarium from like Tova's point of view or Cameron's point of view, when we get to see Marcellus and we get to see their interactions from either of their POVs. So like whether it's a human POV, whether it's Marcellus's POV, like I love seeing anything in the aquarium with Marcellus. I love those scenes, but that's not the whole book. Like we get a lot of other settings, a lot of other scenes, a lot of other interactions with other characters, which is good and it's fine, but I find myself way more interested when it's surrounding Marcellus. So I guess those are my thoughts so far. Not bad, but not like amazing. I can't imagine my thoughts drastically changing in the last 70 or so pages, but I am excited to see how this book ends and kind of like the resolution that we get. I'm hoping we get a heartwarming ending. Like I know what I want to happen. I'm assuming it'll be somewhat sad, but I'm hoping it's overall quite sweet. I don't know, we'll see. But I'm gonna go finish this now, and I guess the next time I talk to you, I'll be done. I literally just finished Remarkably Bright Creatures while I was cooking dinner, and that ending was so sweet. I loved it. I loved the ending. The last, I don't know, maybe like 30-40 pages, the cutest, most wholesome, sweetest thing ever. Like I loved it. I give the ending 5 stars, but I don't think I can give the whole book 5 stars because I wasn't obsessed with like the whole book. I still had such a lovely time. I feel like if you're looking for a book that is sweet and heartwarming and like not high stakes, you don't want to be stressed out, you just want to relax and enjoy a wholesome, sweet story with a little bit of a mystery in there that gets solved at the end. Like if you just want something like that, I definitely recommend this one. In my opinion, I definitely wouldn't recommend this one if you're in a reading slump, because I feel like that's the time when you need something a bit more fast-paced, a bit more gripping. This one didn't feel like that for me, but I still had a really good time. I'm still so glad that I read this. It's been sitting on my shelf for a while. Some may say I've been avoiding it, and I'm so glad that I got to experience this story, especially with that ending. That ending was just so good. I think overall I'm gonna give it 3.5 stars. It had so many good things about it, but it wasn't like a total favorite of mine. But like I said, I'd give the ending 5 stars, 100%. This is the last book that I'm going to get to in this video because it is the end of the week, and I don't think I'm gonna get to another book in this video, but we did manage to get 3 books off my physical TBR and also off the pile of avoidance, which is a huge success. And 2 out of the 3 books that we read in this video are also part of my 25 books I want to read in 2025. So I'm feeling very accomplished, and I also just had a great time reading all of these books. All of them I really enjoyed, some more than others, but I would recommend all 3 of the books that I read in this video. My favorite was definitely The Ministry of Time though. That one is definitely a new favorite of mine. But I think I'm gonna end this video here. I hope you guys enjoyed reading with me this week, and maybe, possibly, I've inspired you to pick up a book that maybe has been on your shelf for a little bit too long, or a book that you've been avoiding. But I love you guys so much, and I will see you in my next video very soon. Goodbye.